Hello everyone. In this session, we are going to cover how to write the MDX query using the more than two axes. Okay, so usually on our normal query scenario, so we write the measures on zero axis and we write the dimension attributes on the one axis, which is nothing but row axis, right? So we can write the date, we can write the more than two axes and fetch the data. Okay, that is possible. But if you write the more than two axes in SSMS, we'll get eventually the error because SSMS won't support the more than two axes. But there are some applications which supports the fetching the data more than two axes. In that, uh, one application is Power Pivot, Power Query, and eventually if the Power Query fetch the data and Power BI also will fetch the data, right? So now we are going to write the MDX query more than two axes and try to fetch this data in the Power Query. Okay, in my MDX query, so I have in fact wrote the more than three axes. I tried to test with seven axes, but unfortunately the Power Query is not able to handle the data because it's getting a lot of the data from the cube. So that's the reason I limit to the three axis for the demo purpose. Okay. Now here's my three axis query. Now I copy this query and go to Excel file. In the Excel file, go to the data tab, get data, and to the get data, you will see option called launch Power Query Editor. Click on it. And here, once the page loaded, you can go to the new sources under the databases, click on the analysis service, enter your server details, and then paste your MDX query, and then we need to pass our database name. So in our scenario, the cube database name is AdventureWorks DW. Paste it here. Once you've done that, click OK. So another statement is passed, and you can see some sample data in the Power Query window. Click OK. When you click OK, you can see it fetched the data, some records from the queue. Okay, so it fetched, as you know, that it fetched only top 1000 records from the queue. Once you are good with this, just click on close and load. So now the real data, the entire data is fetching from the cube. You can see here, adding the third axis, the records are shooted to the 73K, right? So where you can see a lot of null records here, okay? And if you exclude the null records, you can see actual meaningful records are 24K. So similarly, if I'm going to add all my 7 axes in this MDX query, definitely for sure the Excel cannot handle because it's going to shoot up more than 20 million records in the trying to fetch from the queue. So that's the reason I restricted my query to 3 axes. Maybe if you like to explore more, then you can go ahead and add more axes in your MDX query and try to fetch the data. So as per the Microsoft documentation, the MDX query supports the one up to 128 axes. Okay, I'm not sure what scenario we're going to use those 128 axes and what is the purpose of those, but yeah. So this is how you need to you can achieve the more than two axes using the Power Query or Power BI. Okay, and once you load this data, please analyze your data carefully and do the data quality checks and see whether the data is fit into your scenario. So this is how we achieve the a data travel using the MDX query more than two axes. Thank you.